this may be a crazy draft because I don't think I'm sold 100% on anybody. Last year, past years, okay, Myles Garrett, okay, Trevor Lawrence, okay, Cam Newton. Guys like that, I knew. I don't really know in this draft, and that's why I think we're in for something. So as we get closer to the NFL draft, I want to talk about my two pet peeves, two things that have really frustrated me with going through this process, looking at different mock drafts, even creating my own mock draft. And you can see in my reaction to Todd McShay's mock draft what I'm talking about, the contrast to what I'm about to say. But I want to get straight into this. And my first thing is dumb pick, dumb trade. I don't think there's a such thing as a dumb pick or a dumb trade. We look at teams, if there was a perfect way to do this or a right way to do this, there would be no mock draft. It wouldn't be a point or a need for it because every team knows how to do it. Everybody has the same thought process. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it is the fact that we can think differently, that we have different ideologies of a football team. I may value offensive line. The Steelers or the Philadelphia Eagles, they may value defensive line. They may value safeties more than they value corners. Depending on their scheme, that might be the more important thing. And it's all about fit, scheme, ideology, philosophy. And I want to talk about some of the trades that have been called dumb, just some possible scenarios. I can see Detroit trading out of that 6 spot. I can see Philly trading back out of that 10 spot. I can see Philly even trading up. If they really want to get Will Anderson or if they really want to get Jalen Carter, who knows? And I want to talk about another trade. I could also see the Texans going up to 1. I could also see the Seahawks moving back from 5 or maybe even moving up from 5, depending on how this thing works out with Geno Smith. I can see Will Levis being the number 1 quarterback off the board. There's so many possible scenarios. And I look at dumb pick. I'm watching a mock draft. That's what you think. Okay. It's okay to think differently. I'm high on a guy like Bryce Young. As far as Will Levis, I wouldn't take him top 5. If CJ Stroud is on the board, I don't see a world where I'm putting Will Levis ahead of CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. But if other people think that, I could see it. I could agree with that ideology to a certain point when I think, okay, Josh Allen, okay, Patrick Mahomes, we drafted that guy with the traits rather than just looking at the tape and analyzing that. And also, when we talk about this thing, we think of players. Bijan Robinson may very well be a top 5 football player in this draft. Trenton Simpson might be a top football player in this draft. Jack Campbell, a guy who I'm high on, you can't tell me there's 32 guys in this draft, football players, better than Jack Campbell. And I'm willing to put my hand on the desk and root for that and vouch for that because when Jack Campbell gets to the NFL, he's going to be one of those linebackers. This is a 10-year franchise linebacker. Trenton Simpson, what intrigues me the most about him is the athletic profile. And Jack Campbell, he's not going to run a 4.4. He's not going to run a 4.5. But instinctive, big, if anything, he's bigger than the typical average middle linebacker. 6'5", 250. He's bigger, all right? We look at guys today, Roquan Smith, Shaquille Leonard. He's bigger than them. So I don't think there's a thing as a dumb pick. I don't think there's a thing as players being better than somebody because they got drafted higher. And this is going to take me into my second thing I want to talk about. As far as we say team needs, oh, I don't want Philly to draft a receiver. I don't want Philly to draft a corner in the first round. We need offensive line. Jason Kelce might retire. We need a center. So we draft John Michael Schmitz at 10 overall. And that's the frustrating thing. That's kind of off a little bit, okay? If you really think that, if you think that Bijan Robinson should go number 3 because Arizona needs a running back, okay, that's a little far-fetched. If you think the New York Giants should trade up to number 10 just because they need Quentin Johnson, I don't know about all that, but I can say we have to understand positional value. And we look at mock drafts, you may not see a center. You may not see Osiris Torrance go first round. You may not see guys, but you may see Jalen Duncan. You may see DeJuan Jones going first round because those are tackles, a premier position in the NFL. Deonte Banks, Tyreek Stevenson, Emmanuel Forbes. These guys are all in play for this first round thing. And it's interesting because Trenton Simpson, he might fall out the first round. Jack Campbell, he's definitely, I think, going to fall out the first round because he doesn't run a 4-4 at middle linebacker. That's really the only way you might get in the first round. We look at guys like Devin Bush, Devin White, running extremely athletic. But I think Jack Campbell is a better prospect than those guys. And that translate. Fred Warner coming out didn't run a 4-7. But let's get back to this thing. We look at positional value, and there is no way you can convince me Will Levis is a better rated prospect than Peter Skoronski, than Paris Johnson, than Broderick Jones, than Devon Witherspoon. I don't think that. But he's a quarterback. And if you have Peter Skoronski, you can draft realistically. You can build a team, draft all your starters 1 through 22. All top-end guys, the best guys out the draft. If you don't have that quarterback, it doesn't even matter. So we think about the San Francisco 49ers, all those weapons. And when Brock Purdy got hurt, it didn't matter. So positional value is the most important thing in this. And I look at teams' mock drafts. It's real interesting to me. I've seen a lot of stuff over this past week doing research. I've seen Anthony Richardson going to the Lions in some mock drafts. I've seen Will Levis going to the Seahawks. It's been wild. I've seen even Brian Brzee going in the top 5. And like I said, I don't think it's a bad pick. It's a dumb pick. There's nothing wrong. He may not be a better player than another guy. But the positional value, if we don't get Jalen Carter, if we don't get Will Anderson, you may see Tyree Wilson, you may see Myles Murphy fall off in this thing. But at the same time, we may see them jump. Lucas Van Ness. Teams are projecting what he can be on the edge, also moving up and down, being versatile on the defensive line. And they see that big body. I'm thinking J.J. Watt. I'm not saying he's J.J. Watt, but I think of the versatility and what he's going to bring to the NFL if he puts it all together. So I look at that. And DeJuan Jones, Jalen Duncan, 2 guys I talked about, they might not come in and be primed and fully ready technically. It's interesting. It's real interesting. And I want to leave us all with that. What do you think about the dumb pick, dumb trade saga? What do you think about that mindset? And also, what do you think about we need this? We're the Philadelphia Eagles. We need a center. We need a defensive tackle. If you can't get Jalen Carter, Brian Brzee, should I go Kalijah Kancey? Should I do it when I can get, other guys in the second round, nose tackle, 3-tech? What is the value of that to your defense? As far as Chicago, Eberflus has already said it. Jalen Carter, that 3 technique is very, very important to their defense. And we look at the Los Angeles Rams and Aaron Donald, very important to that defense. So I want to leave us there with that today. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments because I think this is an interesting thing. This may be a crazy draft because I don't think I'm sold 100% on anybody. Last year, past years, okay, Myles Garrett, okay, Trevor Lawrence, okay, Cam Newton. Guys like that, I knew. I don't really know in this draft, and that's why I think we're in for something. Be prepared. Be ready to see my mock draft because I'm thinking about this as I'm going. Mock draft coming out this weekend, full first round 2.0. But for that, we out.